I'm going to hand back over to Mackenzie, and we're going to kind of change theme just a little bit here. Everything we've been doing, or most of what we've been doing to this point, has reflected the 3D mapping capabilities of Global Mapper. We're going to go back to old school GIS. We're going to do a little thematic mapping exercise. So Mackenzie, are you hearing me? Are you with me, Mackenzie?
Yes, David, I'm here.
Perfect, perfect. It's always a little disconcerting when there's silence. Let's go ahead and switch over our presenter mode again, and Mackenzie, take it away.
All right. So today in this tips and tricks section, we're going to do a little thematic mapping, as David mentioned. Right now, I've got a shapefile of the state of Maine and polygons for each county in Maine. For those of you who are international or unfamiliar with Maine, it's in the northeast of the continental United States, and Blue Marble Geographics offices are based in Maine. So the end goal for this thematic map is going to be a population density map. Now to start, we have this shapefile with our polygons, and I have the attribute editor open down here. And you can see that we have some information about the county name, and a few different formats. But we don't have any population attribute, and we don't have an area attribute. And those are the two components that we're going to need to be able to calculate our population density to create our map. So to start off with, we do have this table with population information. This was pulled from the US Census Bureau, and there are a lot of fields in this table. As you can see, it's extensive. This covers population estimates from 2010 to 2018, and we're going to be working just with the population estimate for 2018, this field here. So this table doesn't have any geometry. There's no way we can just directly import this into Global Mapper and have it display like our map is now. So we'll have to join these attributes to our shapefile that we have in Global Mapper. And to do that, from the attribute editor, we're going to use this join attributes tool. So we'll click there, and we will select our population table that we were just looking at. And then we have a whole list of all the attributes in that table that we can add. Now, as I mentioned, we don't need all of these attributes. We're really only interested in the population estimate for 2018. So we're going to elect to only add that attribute. And we need to pick a few attributes to join the file with. So this would be an attribute that appears in the table that we're joining, as well as the data we have loaded into Global Mapper. And so down at the bottom of this join window, we have a little preview for the first several lines of our table that we're joining. And if I scroll over, you can see this does list all of the attributes in that table. But we're going to take a look at this county name attribute. And that format, the county name followed by county, matches the format of this county name attribute for our data in Global Mapper. So that's what we're going to use to align this population data with our geographic shapefile here. So from the join file, we're going to choose the county name attribute. And these are all the attributes listed in alphabetical order. Just have to scroll through and find the right one. And then from this layer, we're going to use this name attribute. We'll select that and click OK. We get a little report from Global Mapper saying that it modified the attributes for 16 features, which is good. That's the number of counties in Maine. So now you can see we have a population estimate value for all of our counties. Now the other component for population density is the area of each county. So we can right click on the layer and choose to select all the counties. And this automatically enables the digitizer tool. And then from there, you can right click anywhere in the main view of Global Mapper. And that brings us to some extensive right click menus that we have in Global Mapper. Now, a lot can be done here, but what we're looking for is the attribute style function, add, update, measure attributes for selected features. Clicking on that adds two attributes to our features, a perimeter attribute and then an enclosed area attribute. So now we have our area and our population, and we can calculate our population density. To do that, we'll calculate an attribute with this calculator icon here. And we'll just name our attribute density. Using a simple calculation for population density, which would be the population divided by an attribute value, which is area. We click calculate, and that calculates the density for every county that we have here. All of them are listed, all 16. So now that we have the attribute that we want to use for our thematic map, this density attribute, we can actually start creating this map. I can move this attribute editor down. And to add color to our shapefile here, we're going to right click on the layer and choose options. And then on the area styles tab, we're going to apply styling based on an attribute value. We're going to choose our calculated density value. And we'll need to add colors and stylings for the different values of density. So you can add them manually with this new value button, or we'll click load value and that will pull all the density values from our attributes. And we're going to choose a solid fill, and we'll choose a nice light blue color to start off with. We'll click OK. And this dialog is really useful. It's Global Mapper recognizing that this density attribute is numeric. So clicking no would load each individual density value, but clicking yes will just load a few key values, and then Global Mapper can blend the colors in between those to create a nice transition from the minimum value to the maximum population density value. And if we click apply, we see that these colors don't blend all that well, so we'll want to edit those. We can change the color. We'll stick with this blue color and just make it a little darker for each value as they get larger. And just selecting the value we want to edit and editing the style, changing the color all the way through to the maximum value. And now when we click apply, you can see that we have a nice thematic map showing the population density for the counties of Maine. So we have the most densely populated county is here on the southern coast area, and the counties get less and less dense as you go up to the northern part of the state.